A doorbell camera at a home in Harriet Creek Ranch, Texas, captured footage of a young girl approaching the front door. She was holding a flashlight and looked extremely distressed. She also kept checking behind her, likely to see if someone was following her or not.
Help, please.
Unfortunately for her, the house she approached was empty. The residents were away on vacation, so no one was there to answer. This made her even more panicked as she continued to beg for help.
Please help.
By the time the homeowners noticed the footage, it was already too late. The little girl was long gone, and there were no signs of her anywhere in the neighborhood. But the big question remained: who the girl was, and why she had come to their door in such a frightened state that night. The homeowners didn't recognize her, and she didn't look like any of the neighbors' kids either, so they contacted the police and also uploaded the footage online, hoping the video might reach someone with more information on her. Sadly, it's been 6 years since this footage was captured, and no one has been able to identify the young girl. That said, people online have come up with a few theories that might contain some truth. The more cynical side of the internet believes the girl was nothing more than bait for a group of robbers hiding just outside the camera's view. It's a known tactic where robbers send a scared-looking child or woman to the front door. Out of concern, the homeowner opens the door to help, only for the robbers to appear from hiding and force their way inside. However, this theory doesn't really hold up when you consider just how genuinely distressed the girl sounded. Her voice and the frantic way she knocked seemed too real for a child that age to be faking. The more likely and more tragic theory is that this girl was 9-year-old Serenity Dennard, who had gone missing earlier that year. Serenity had been diagnosed with reactive detachment disorder and disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, which caused emotional instability and frequent attempts to run away. She was admitted to Black Hills Children's Home, a youth treatment facility near Rockerville, South Dakota. Unfortunately, the staff weren't able to keep a proper eye on her, resulting in her running away from the facility on the 3rd of February 2019. A massive search effort involving over 1,200 people was launched, but despite their best efforts, they couldn't find any clues about her whereabouts. The working theory was that she likely ran into the wooded area surrounding the facility, got lost, and succumbed to hyperthermia. However, police didn't rule out foul play. This is where the mysterious doorbell footage comes in. Many speculated that the girl in the video was Serenity, who had gone missing 9 months earlier. It's possible that a kidnapper took her to another state, and after months in captivity, she escaped and tried to ask for help. Though Serenity's family viewed the footage and said the girl wasn't her, many people online still believe it was. Unfortunately, none of the theories were ever confirmed or disproven. Investigators weren't able to find Serenity, and search efforts were officially suspended in early 2021, and the girl in the haunting doorbell video was never identified either, leaving her case an unsolved mystery. On the morning of July 31st, 2022, just before 11 a.m., 22-year-old Allison Duckrow and her mother returned to their home in Sydney, Ohio after breakfast. While making their way inside, an unknown car pulled into their driveway. A second later, the driver approached the front door, 22-year-old James Rail, Allison's ex-boyfriend. The two had broken up over 18 months earlier and hadn't spoken since. The night before, he had sent her a creepy voice note saying he would visit her the next day.
Hi, Ellie. It's James. I just wanted to reach out to you because I just wanted to see how you're doing and maybe hear from you if that would be all right, I guess. It's been a while since I talked to you, and I don't know. I feel like it. I don't know what I feel. I do know that I do want to talk to you, though. I do. It'd be nice. It'd be sweet. It's probably late right now, but if you want tomorrow, you could probably give me a call. And yeah, it's about it. Please give me a call back. Thank you.
Allison never responded or gave permission, but he showed up anyway. She recognized him through the live camera feed and decided to ignore him. After about 3 minutes, James left the porch, only to circle the house looking for another way in. When that failed, he returned to the front door again and began trying to break his way in. When Allison and her family didn't open the door, he became agitated and started forcing it, with James refusing to stop. Allison's father was left with no choice but to use his firearm, ending the confrontation minutes later. The family had already called the police, but no one could have anticipated the scene that awaited them. Allison and her dad were questioned, and her father later stood trial on August 4th, 2022.
So if you would, I understand, were you aware of the text messages that James had sent your daughter last night? Was not. Okay, so your daughter did not share those with you? No. Okay.
Thanks to the doorbell camera footage, he was acquitted of all charges on the basis of self-defense. On the night of January 18th, 2025, a homeowner in Carrollton, North Texas, received a doorbell notification while out shopping. When she checked the live feed, she saw a mysterious man standing on her porch dressed in all black with a red face and holding what looked like a cardboard box. He moved closer, revealing that he was wearing a red satanic goat mask. He rang the doorbell and then walked away, leaving behind a sign with the words Revelation chapter 20, verses 1 to 15. The verse references the binding of Satan, resurrection, judgment, and eternal torment, making the visit even more disturbing. The homeowner called the police, but since the man hadn't committed a crime, they couldn't do much. As she later said in an interview, I'm scared. I'm scared to leave the house. I'm scared to be at the house. The story was later dropped by the media, and no follow-up information was ever reported. On July 21st, 2023, two elderly women visited the home of their friend, 58-year-old Sharon Gordon, in Dudley, UK. They hadn't heard from her in days, and upon entering, they discovered her lying face down near the stairs, covered in blood. Police arrived quickly and confirmed it was a homicide. Investigators then checked the doorbell footage, which showed the last visitor to Sharon's home, her contractor, Peter Norgrove. He initially claimed Sharon was alive when he left, but footage revealed him leaving with bloodstains on his trousers. Investigators also found the weapon he used in his shed, and he later confessed. Sharon had hired him to build an extension, but after 15 months of delays and poor work, she confronted him. Peter lost his temper and attacked her with a hammer. He later pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison. On October 6, 2024, Kristen Paul was watching TV at her home in Fresno, California, waiting for her husband to return. Just after midnight, the doorbell rang. Assuming it was her husband, she opened the door, only to find an unknown woman with a crazed look. Christine slammed the door shut, but the woman became enraged and began trying to force it open. When that failed, she tried breaking in through a nearby window. Christine called the police while arming herself for protection. Luckily, an officer arrived within minutes and de-escalated the situation.
Hi.
You live here?
No, I don't.
So why are you banging on the door?
Because my friend was there.
Despite her erratic behavior, the woman immediately calmed down when confronted by police and was taken into custody. Christine later said she was just thankful the officer wasn't a minute later. On August 12, 2025, the Wilson family was asleep in their home in Midlothian, Texas. At around 1 a.m., 21-year-old Malia noticed a bright flash outside. When she ran downstairs, she saw their front yard engulfed in flames, just inches from the house.
Came halfway down the stairs and I see this window right here just lit up in flames, and I just ran and got my dad.
She woke her father, who called the fire department. Firefighters arrived within minutes and extinguished the flames before they reached the home. The doorbell camera revealed that someone had poured gasoline around the house and set it on fire before fleeing. The suspect wore a hoodie and mask, concealing their identity. The homeowner, Darrell Wilson, believed the attack was retaliation for a lawsuit he had filed against a former employer. However, police had not caught the arsonist, leaving the family terrified the attacker might return. In the early morning of March 11, 2025, a homeowner in North York, Pennsylvania, was awoken by strange movement on their porch. The footage showed a person wearing a colorful tie-dye cloak and a paper plate mask decorated with jagged teeth and red eyes. They carried a cardboard box, which they placed on the doormat before announcing themselves as the Box Demon.
I am the Box Demon.
A faint lullaby played in the background as they walked away into the darkness. Thankfully, the box was empty. People online later suggested the figure was dressed as Dandy, a Roblox horror character, though the meaning behind the act remains a mystery. In June 2023, the mother of Instagram model Guste Genescate noticed something disturbing in their doorbell footage. An unknown man had been following Guste home and was seen lingering around the house. He looked through the windows and wandered around the property. Terrified, her mother called the police, but they couldn't take action since no crime had been committed. Unable to sleep, Guste set up a rope booby trap in the yard. A week later, the man returned and tripped on it around 2 a.m. When Guste checked the camera, she saw him standing right outside her bedroom window, staring inside. She woke her mother, who banged on the window and scared him away. Another woman in the neighborhood later reported the same man. Despite having a clear image of his face, police were unable to identify him, forcing Guste and her mother to move. As of now, the stalker remains unidentified. Late one night in an Alexandria, Virginia neighborhood, a doorbell camera captured pure horror. Three masked figures in full Halloween costumes stood outside a home at around 10 p.m. and refused to leave. One of the occupants, Shayla, initially thought it was a prank and even greeted them with Happy Halloween. But within seconds, the mood changed. The trio rang the bell, shook the doorknob, and kept knocking, the knocks growing louder and more aggressive.
Open the door! Open the door!
When they couldn't force open the front door, they moved to the backyard, slashed through a wooden fence, smashed a deck screen, and pounded on the windows, taunting the family inside. They threatened to kill the occupants, telling them it's either you coming out or we coming in.
Either you come out or we coming in!
The ordeal lasted about 6 to 10 minutes before the masked intruders finally left, but not before leaving the family shaken and fearful. The homeowner's daughter later said they were forced into hiding and felt unsafe in their own home.
She just died, so it's just like, I'm just glad I was there. Now she's in fear. She don't want to stay there by herself. It could have been bad. Our Second Amendment right was not used and could have been, being very transparent.
Authorities launched a criminal investigation for attempted burglary and criminal threats.